Hello everyone, my name is Daniel and I am just a casual sim racer. And today I am releasing the 1966 Can-Am Complete Mod Collection and Championship. I just want to be clear right from the start that all cars and tracks are not created by me. Rather, this is a collection of links to mods that have been created by other mod creators. My understanding is that these mods do not infringe on any United States copyright, and therefore are completely legal to download and install as a mod for Assetto Corsa. I, however, did create the Championship, and that includes custom AI based upon the actual drivers that drove in the 1966 Championship, the aggressiveness and overall AI difficulty. This mod includes 6 tracks: Mont-Tremblant, Bridgehampton, Mosport, Laguna Seca, Riverside, and Stardust. 4 of those tracks are vintage era appropriate tracks, while Mont-Tremblant and Mosport are both modern variations. Unfortunately, I could not find vintage versions of those tracks available to include in the collection. However, I was pleased to be able to include all 6 of the locations. There is also 5 different cars available in the collection, 2 of which have multiple variants. These are the Lola T70 Spyder, the Chaparral 2E, the McLaren Elva Mark II, the Porsche 906, and the Ford GT40, all of which ran during the actual 1966 Can-Am Championship season. I just want to let you all know that the links are in the description of the video below. The link will take you to a Google webpage, which includes some light instructions on how to install tracks, install the cars, and download and install the Championship. Feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. One feature we have is every Monday we have our Monday mod downloads, and so that playlist is also in the description below, so you can check that out and see other mod content that is available. I tend to search far and wide to find mods that just aren't as prevalent, maybe on Race Department or other more common sites, and just really find those mods that I think are the hidden gems out there. For the rest of this video, I will go through the cars and drive them on various tracks included in the collection. I'll talk a bit about them, give you some of the insights I found about each car and the tracks, and hopefully convince you to download the mod if you haven't done it already. And if you are downloading the mod, well, then give you a taste of how much I enjoy and have enjoyed putting this collection together. The Lola T70 Spyder came in a Chevrolet and Ford variant. I think that this is the standout car in the pack. I tend to go for the Ford, as it just has a little bit less raw edges. The Chevrolet, though, produces 490 peak belt horsepower, while the Ford produces 429 peak belt horsepower. So neither one of these are, tame monsters, especially considering that these are from 1966. And I consider both variants of the Lola to be at a very high level amongst any of my Assetto Corsa mods. And of course, I've racked up the most miles of any car in my collection driving the Lola T70 Mark II Spyder with the Ford engine. Also included is the McLaren Elva Mark II Chevrolet, and the Ford and the Oldsmobile variants. The McLaren Chevrolet produces 409 peak belt horsepower. The McLaren Ford produces 361 peak belt horsepower. And the McLaren Oldsmobile produces 316 peak belt horsepower. These 3 versions of the McLaren are a little more twitchy, if I may say, just by default, it seems. If I was going to compare them, and if I gave the Lola a score of 100, I would say the McLaren as quality mod would be around a 95. Still very good, though. It is one of those cars that I typically don't turn to right away, but it definitely adds great variation to the field and is still a great car to drive. The Chaparral 2E produces 406 peak belt horsepower. The Chaparral 2E is one of the most unique cars in the field, and that is because it has a working activated wing. On your controller, you'll be able to activate that with your DRS button that you would typically use in a Formula 1 car. By pressing the DRS button, that will raise the wing, allowing for greater straightaway speed, but remove most of the downforce that the wing provides. When you release it, you will then it will go back down, and you will then have greater downforce as you enter corners. This is a fun car, and I would say this is my second favorite car within the pack. The Porsche 906 produces peak 210 belt horsepower. The Porsche 906 is a lower quality mod, primarily here just to round out the pack. I recommend it for the AI. It has a really high tendency to snap, and also the force feedback, at least for me on my T300, is very weird and almost non-existent. Though if you hit a curb or go off the track, you will feel that. So it's not like there is no force feedback, but when just driving on the road, I felt almost like it was just empty. The final car included in the pack is really not one you can download. Rather, it's included in the Dream Pack 2 DLC for Assetto Corsa, and that is the Ford GT40. This car scored points in the 1966 Can-Am season, driven by Ebby Wheats. So this mod collection is one that I've been putting together for the last 2 years or so. And I've really find myself drawn to the vintage tracks, often driving Bridgehampton for lap after lap, either hot lapping or of course in races. I've found that Laguna Seca is a track that typically I can do very well at. You may find yourself desiring to move the AI a little bit higher when racing at Laguna Seca, but overall it's a rather balanced season over the course of the 6 tracks. My personal favorite track is pretty close between Bridgehampton and Stardust. If Stardust gets eventually refined, I really think Stardust could be the best track in this pack. It's just something special about the track that only lasted for a handful of years out in the Las Vegas desert. But Bridgehampton has such a refined, high quality about the mod that ultimately it is the track that I've put in the most miles while driving this collection. I hope you really enjoy these cars and tracks that are part of the Can-Am Complete Mod Collection and Championship. The 1966 season in real life was a thrilling start to a sadly short-lived but incredible era of development and racing. So for the rest of this video, I'll be driving the Lola T70 Mark II Spyder Ford around Bridgehampton. So currently, I am in the process of developing the rest of the seasons of the Can-Am Championship. Oh, and there we pass the GT40 behind us, and on the right is the Porsche 906. And so I'm going to start in the back and work my way through the field so you can get a pretty good view of all the different cars included in the collection. I'm driving around Bridgehampton. This track is just a wonderful track, and if you don't have it already, this is a definite add, even if you aren't interested in Can-Am racing. So I'm working on like such things as the AutoCoast TI-22. It's one of the cars that I'm personally developing. I'm also working on the original Shadow Can-Am car that came in during 1971. I have no deadline for these projects as I'm just kind of taking my time, and I'm very busy with my work, and therefore my side hobby with this YouTube channel and then with the mods is going to and we're going to go up the inside here. This corner, if you take it right, you take it close to the inside, you can always seem to get past a car or two. But like I was saying before I trailed off there, this mod collection is going to be finished as I complete it, and I'm not going to be in any rush to finish it. Of course, feel free to comment down below what your favorite year is of Can-Am racing if you are a big Can-Am fan, or of course, just what any of your favorite years of vintage racing. In a couple of weeks, I'll be releasing a series where I drive in a DTM championship in Assetto Corsa, 1990s DTM. I've already recorded the first race, and we'll continue to record those and then edit them out and post them next month sometime and into the month after that. And we're going to get a nice run. The two Chaparrals are up ahead. I mentioned, of course, earlier in the video, but every Monday I have my Mod Monday downloads, and so you can check out that playlist now, and of course subscribe for any future releases. The downloads for the featured content in those videos will be down in the video description of each of those videos included in that playlist. And now we're going to see if we can get a run on the Chaparrals down the front straight. Just a 3-lap race, so this will be the final lap. Get past the first. I'm going to back off here. Tricky corner. Falling away downhill. I really love the way this Ford handles, and if I'm looking for just a go-to car, this is my go-to car in Assetto Corsa. I can drive this car for hours, and it's just always a great experience. Oof, off the road here. We may have let that car get away. Try my best to catch up. I'm pushing too hard. Pushing way too hard. We're in the grass. Cars have a great sound about them as well. I'm sure it's a sound pulled from the files of Assetto Corsa, as many mods are, but still, that roar of a powerful V8 engine, it's just amazing. And that's our race. I hope you enjoy this Can-Am collection, and as I mentioned, downloads in the description. Have fun, everyone, and if there's any issues or anything, feel free to post a comment in the description, and I'll jump on that and make sure that any issues with the download process or anything like that, or any of the instructions that are confusing, let me know, and I'll do my best to jump on that and fix that right away. Alright everyone, have a great rest of your day.